Okay. Alright, OBS is being slow today. Looks like mic is... Alright, that's the wrong audio. Audio does not seem to be working right. Oh. Yeah, and we're live. Alright, yeah, pretend you guys didn't see that. Alright, I'm just going to... Oh, webcam. Yeah, just a second. Is audio? Yeah, audio's halfway working. Let me go figure out stuff. Yeah, I don't know why audio isn't working right now. Probably should have checked this all beforehand. But yeah. Over here. Okay, oh, was I? Hmm. Is that working? No, that's not working. Alright, does that work better? Alright, sorry for that. Alright, audio seems to be working now. Just a little bit of troubleshooting. Um, yeah, just some audio problems. Hello, Double. Um, yeah, anyways, the plan for today's stream, now that we are set up, I think, and working, I'm not seeing anything else that has been completely broken. You guys can probably let me know whether or not my sound's on. I mean, this is when you guys all just spam your mics off or whatever after I ask whether or not it's working. Anyways, but yeah, our plan is going to be go ahead and continuing working on these quests that we have before we can go ahead and rebirth. Right now we have Gramps and UwU just left, which was what we've been working on last stream. Looks like someone's wearing my shirt. But yeah, we have UwU specifically, which is the longer one since we need to only do races for her. We have 56 here, which we have 54 out of, so 2 more left on this quest. And then the next quest of hers is going to be 70 total races. So 72 of those left. And then we also have 69 bosses left. So we should be able to finish those up around the same time as long as we're doing them pretty evenly. Which we're doing a little bit more races than bosses, which is fine, because bosses I can specifically do later, like in going into Ghost World or Main Hub, or Backdoor, I guess, since those have only bosses. But yeah, now that the stream's set up and working, let's go ahead and start using event bait. The plan is going to be going ahead and using event bait when we have a race up, and then server hopping until we find another one with a low one. low timer for an event. I think now that we have races and bosses pretty much equal, I think we have 3 more total. I guess 4 more, 3 more once we complete this one. We do need to worry about bosses a little bit. So if we find any low servers, we'll probably go ahead and then we'll stop event baiting as much, or we'll event bait after we do a short server, something like that, where we will end up using a little bit more event bait. This is everyone's least favorite race. Actually, there's one worse maze. Every once in a while on this lava race, you can get some really weird mazes. But yeah, I think Deadpool's saying the stream set up fine, so that's good. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of just this grindy stuff where we just do races over and over again. So going to be pretty boring for pretty much the whole time. So I'm sorry for anyone who is wanting something interesting. But next episode, so next week, we should be able to go ahead and complete both these 2 quests, assuming I do a little bit of grinding off stream, which means that it takes about 20 episodes of 3 hours each, plus like, I don't know, an hour on average between. So about 80 hours to go ahead and get your first rebirth, assuming you do all quest lines, which actually isn't too long right now, but yeah. We are just waiting for other people to finish up the race, because it doesn't count until everyone finishes the race, which can sometimes take a while with lava races, with being in public servers and whatever, but it is what it is. Alright, audio still seems to be working fine. I'm not seeing anything wrong with the stream, like, for whatever reason. Alright. I think we are going to stick to this strategy of just server hopping. But I think we'll be going ahead and looking for servers with low timers. And then since we have enough boss bait, or we almost have enough boss bait, I'm going to be going ahead and, if I can find a low server, doing the activity on that server, whether it be race or boss, and then... Yeah, actually, I don't think event baiting for bosses will be useful. And then if it is a race up next, we'll go ahead and event bait for that. Because, like, it's actually really easy to find bosses like this, I guess. But yeah, I'm only grabbing this because it's quick. There's really no reason for me to be mainly focusing on bosses, since I do have a few less of those, and as I said, they're a lot easier to do. I was getting kind of worried before, because I was catching up on races with bosses. As I said, there's only like 4 more. Yeah, and with this, like, I mean, we're all of a sudden now 4 ahead. But yeah, I was catching up on races with bosses, so I was thinking that maybe I need to switch up my strategy. But I think we're fine to stick with the current strategy of just doing quick bosses, and then anytime we see a race, use an event bait. We should have enough event bait, as we only have 62 right now. But we only need around 71 if we want to event bait every single race from now on, so we are only missing 9 that I'd have to wait for. And I can do those off stream if I need to. But yeah, this is the boring time where I just do events after events after events. So yeah. Anything else interesting in Bloxbite/Sentinel? Oh yeah, the ongoing events. I know I haven't really been covering events too much on my channel for, I don't know, I haven't been really feeling like grinding or making videos on the events. Like Halloween and Thanksgiving events are currently running. I probably should have made some video going over the plan for Halloween and whatever. Because, like, I know a lot of people are asking questions. Devs have already kind of answered those questions on Discord, but if you aren't on Discord, you guys haven't seen those. But basically, the Thanksgiving and Halloween events will be running concurrently in Ghost Simulator. It looks like we'll be getting last place on this race. So for the next 3 weeks, they're extending a week so that they have a time for other stuff. There's a lot going on right now for the developers of Bloxbite-ish. But so we'll be having 3 weeks where we'll have Thanksgiving and Halloween both at the same time. And then after those 3 weeks are up, we're either getting the start of a Christmas update, which is going to be smaller than previous years. It's probably not going to be... yeah, I don't know exactly. It really depends on how developer stuff works out for them. But yeah, it'll either be a very small Christmas part 1, or it'll be a middle update where you kind of just do nothing. But yeah, that is going to be the first quest of UwU we've got done in a while. So that's the 56 races done. Now all that we have left is 70 races, and then getting first place on a race. Here's your reward, Onyx. This is actually a pretty cool board. I kind of like it. It reminds me a little bit of Gemship, but I don't really use it normally. Really with these like quest boards and whatever, it's more of just having it is kind of cool because only one person gets it per an account. It's not like boards from like crates, like even classifieds. Like if I went and got Feather Shock or whatever, since this is limited 1 per account and it's actually kind of grindy to get, it's probably more valuable, and because it's more valuable, it looks a little bit cooler than other stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. We mainly doing it for quest. And it looks like I was wrong. We do need 75 races, not 70 races, which is, I guess, just the quest was different than what I was thinking it was. I thought for sure it was 7/10. Maybe I guess that it's only 3/4 that they nerfed the quest by when they originally did it. For anyone who doesn't know, UwU, when she first came out, she actually had the same exact structure as Grand's quest, where it's 1, 5, 10, like all those set amounts up to 100, whatever. So it's like 50, 75, 100 right at the end. But because of how long she was, just because races were kind of hard to get, they actually nerfed her quest line a little bit. So instead of being 100, it's now 75 and all that. So they nerfed by about 1/4, which was pretty nice. But yeah, it's still kind of funny though that when she was added, or actually still now, her dialogue literally says 10 minutes between a boss, and when she added, that time was actually 20 minutes because they added races every other boss. So in her dialogue, she says, "Oh, there's 10 minutes between a boss," when in reality, when she came out, there was 20 minutes between a boss. It was, I just find that hilarious that people did not like it when she first came out when it was that long. I mean, even now with the 6.5 minute or 7.5 minute, I guess, timer for main hub, it is still really annoying to go find bosses when you need it for like Yoko or whatever. But people have kind of just gotten used to it at this point. If you want bosses, usually people have either Ghostly Vision for bosses for Yoko and or Blaze, or yeah, they just server hop at this point. It used to be the case that you wouldn't know what event was coming up next. It just said event up next. Don't tell you whether it's a boss event or a race event, which was actually really obnoxious. I think that was like one of the really small changes that they did at one point that, like, I don't know. I don't think enough people have really, like, when it was added, everyone was celebrating, and then everyone kind of just forgot that it was ever the case beforehand. Audio is working correct. I feel like it's a little quiet. I guess it might just be because it's laggy. Yeah, I'm losing quite a bit due to encoding lag, which is not normal. Might be the OBS update, or it might just be because my computer hasn't restarted in a while. Who knows? Who really knows? Yeah, we're losing about as many frames to encoding lag as we are to rendering lag, which is not usually the case. Usually we're losing a lot more to rendering lag than encoding. Guess I could try changing some of the settings. Yeah, at this point I think changing settings is just going to make it all worse. Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't know if that'll make it better or worse. Hello! Hello, Bansick, and hello, Deadwall, I guess. Um, but yeah, we are kind of just grinding through these stuff. We're probably going to get. I mean, we only have 65 bosses left, and we have 75 races left, and if we do grab bosses every once in a while in Ghost World, we should get it significantly faster, even with boss or event baiting races. But yeah, this definitely won't get done today. I think I was calculating we do about 12 an hour. So right now we have about 6 hours left of races. I only plan on streaming for about 3 hours today, maybe less, depending on how boring this gets. So, like, realistically, all we're doing is AFKing bosses, and then server hopping for races. And yeah, doing that at 2 FPS, that's not going to be super interesting. Hello, Jelly Turtle. Um, hmm. That is my computer slowly dying. Ouch. I'm sorry for anyone that was too loud for. Yeah, that's what happens occasionally when you're laggy. Yeah, that's kind of Roblox's audio issues. It's definitely PC-ish too laggy. But yeah, content. Yeah. Okay. I haven't actually. I know I. Okay. I'm sorry. I haven't done a video in a long time. I think the last video I did do, was the rebalancing pay to win items. I haven't done another one of those in a while. I know I was planning on doing it either weekly or bi-weekly, and now it's been almost 3 weeks since I uploaded that. Um, that is, I've literally done nothing on that, so that is my bad. I don't know if I'm going to continue that series or not. I know it would be really cool for me, but I don't know if I need to go that way. Let's just pretend I need to go this way. Yeah, we didn't need to go this way. Yeah, every once in a while, it actually here it splits if you have this exact path. It's hard to know which way do you need to go. Not that matters. We just need to complete races. Don't need to win them. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to continue that series. I know it would be really cool. It's just like some of the stuff, I don't know which way I want to balance it in. Oh, you guys saw the cat in the background? Yeah. Yeah, occasionally cat will walk through here. I think I can't remember. Whether or not she was here right before the stream started, like I don't know, 10 minutes before I started the stream, just lounging in front of my screens, which makes it kind of annoying when I'm working on stuff. But you know, she's cute, so. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the videos. I don't know. It's kind of hard to figure out where to start with those stuff. Like pay to wins was kind of an obvious starting point. It was one that really need desperate improvements, and there's kind of some easy stuff that to fix. Like going on, I don't know whether to like start with main hub, or backdoor, or gems in general. I know I was saying I should start with gems, but like I don't know about that. Like starting with gems, like rebalancing how gem grinding works. You almost want to rebalance how pet stats work first. And rebalancing pet stats, you kind of want to rebalance how whole main hub works first. And then rebalancing main hub, I think, I'd need to spend a lot of time on a video on rebalancing main hub. Just because there's a lot of stuff in here that's broken. And a lot of stuff that could be much better for new players. But yeah, that's where I was at. I thought balancing gems would be a good idea, but like I sat down and thought about it, and it's like, you improve gem grinding rates for some areas, like for instance gem drops, or quests or whatever. You improve gem drops for that like quest or whatever by a large amount, you end up really buffing. If you make it like on par with what endgame is, you make it really overpowered for new players because of how little it scales. So it's pretty much you're getting the same amount early game as you're getting late game, and if it's balanced for late game, that makes early game really, really overpowered, which is not what I want with gem grinding, because that just creates kind of a issue where you're like having no increase or this amount on how much you grind gems. You kind of need an increase, but yeah, I don't know. It's just been kind of something I've been trying to figure out where to start with that series. It'll probably end up being something like main hub. I've been thinking a little bit maybe about doing puzzles, but the thing about puzzles, I kind of want to do those later because that's like all negative. Like if I suggest changes to puzzles, it's literally going to be half the puzzles are completely different. Not the greatest changes in the world. Yeah. So it's either going to be like main hub or Ghost World I'd start with if I did that, and both of those are huge areas where I'd have to like spend a lot more time than the like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours I spent on the pay to win. I'd have to spend like 20 to 30 hours coming up with the changes just to make it all balanced and whatever it would be. And frankly, I haven't felt like doing that, so you know, it hasn't got done. Yeah, what else? Oh, one of the main developers, I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether to share this. Yeah, one of the, I guess if you're in the Discord, you already know, but one of the main developers for Ghost Simulator, actually the main developer for Ghost Simulator, because the head developer, Goro, is mainly working on Sentinel. He might switch over to a little bit more Ghost Simulator, depending on what they need. Was kind of left somewhat abruptly, it felt like, as the community. But obviously, I don't know what he may have told them like months ahead that, hey, I'll be leaving around this time for X, Y, Z reasons. And so it wasn't as immediate for them. But yeah, so because of that, there's really no set Ghost Simulator developer, which does mean Ghost Sim updates, like starting Christmas, as I said, might be smaller than usual. They have to figure out some development stuff. They're looking for developers or whatever. Who knows? Who knows who they'll find? But yeah, because of that, updates might be slower from now on. He was a great developer. He was actually well involved in the community before he became a developer for Ghost Simulator. Royal, pretty good. I mean, as much as it looks like I'm an influencer, I'm really well involved with the community. Honestly, I don't know. I don't make too much social connections with people, so it's not like I know Royal too much more than half the other community. So, but yeah, you should apply. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about that openly. I mean, I can tell you guys that I do have quite a bit of experience with coding. I got my bachelor's degree in coding. Beyond that, though, I'm not going to share too much. Yeah, that's more just to let you guys know if updates are slower than usual. That's kind of why. New development team or whatever. Some changing stuff up there. Shouldn't matter too much. I mean, I'll be making content regardless of what happens. Unless, like, Ghost Simulator like, shuts down for whatever reason, which they aren't planning on. Ghost Sim devs have been really adamant about this, Bloxby in general, that they're going to keep Ghost Simulator open for pretty much as long as they can, which is going to be a lot longer than probably half of us are going to be playing. but yeah, so even with Sentinel being out, second game, being down another developer, so now only 2 developers out of the 6, 7 total that they've had overall. Well, I mean, 3 of them left over a year ago, but not all 3 together. But it's not the first time developers have left Bloxbyte, so probably won't change too much. Yeah, I'll let you guys speculate on that, but I'm not going to confirm nor deny anything at this point. Anyways, what else? Who was the first dev to leave? When the game first came out, it was JD, DXZ, and Joven. They left about 2 years in or something. Right, like after the game started slowing down, they moved on to other stuff. They were kind of, if I remember correctly, they're modelers and stuff, so they made hoverboards and stuff. Weren't too much programming. Those were the first 2 to leave. I think they left 2020, early 2021, late 2020. I don't remember exactly. I'm not too much into all that information. Then Coven K left for her own reasons. Obviously I don't know what the reasons were, or I should say I don't know what the reasons were. But I mean, I've said this myself. I might end up leaving you, or I almost certainly will end up leaving YouTube at some point. My videos will just stay up here, and you guys will be wondering why I don't upload. Just because I found like a job or something, and stopped being able to put time into it, or stopped wanting to put time into it. It happens. That's just kind of how life works. Should we grab this boss? 30 seconds for a mini boss. We'll fight a lot of bosses like this. I don't think it's worth staying here. If it was main hub, yes, for the race. But yeah, but no. So Coven K was then. Actually, before Coven K left, Royal joined the team. That was like 2022 mid, I want to say. I don't know exact dates. You'd have to look it up. I don't. Then Coven K left, and now Royal's leaving about a year later. But yeah, it's not the first time developers left. The only difference right now is that there's Sentinel currently at that Goro's mainly working on. So there's not like a dedicated programmer to Go Similar like there has been before. But with them having a 3 weeks for Thanksgiving and Halloween, it should Go Similar will pretty much handle itself for the next 3 weeks, giving them quite a bit of time to figure stuff out. And I mean, most Halloween and Christmas events already are reused-ish, or like they reuse the same bosses, they reuse the same maps, they reuse the same sort of themes. So it shouldn't be too hard for, even if like they don't find a developer, for them to patch in 1 or 2 quests using the area, have no mega boss or whatever. And just have a smaller Christmas event, which I don't think people would be too upset about. I think even looking at like Thanksgiving and Halloween, even though these, like Halloween was a really big update, like it has a lot of content. It added a new mega boss. It added some craftings which were pretty expensive. I don't think people were too excited or have been playing too much of the event. More than usual on Go Simulator. Like I've seen player rates around 300, 400, whereas generally it's 100 to 200. But I don't think it's been as big of events as we've had in the past, so I think even having a smaller event wouldn't really impact players too much. Done 2 whole races so far? Actually, I've done 5 races this stream so far in the last 30 minutes, so we're actually pretty much on pace for what I was wanting. It's about 1 every 5 minutes I was getting on last stream. With Event Bait, it does make it a little bit faster. We have spent a little bit more time on bosses than I was in the first one, so it kind of makes sense. And we're actually getting another one right after this, so yeah, it's about 1 race every 5 minutes. It's actually about 1 race and 1 boss every 5 minutes, but we aren't really keeping track of bosses. We're going to get most likely done with races with 5 or 6 bosses left, and then we'll be able to just do Ghost World or Anomaly for the last few races. It'll be it'll be pretty clean. But yeah, that's not expected to happen till next stream. So going to be pretty boring this stream. We're going to be only doing the same thing over and over and not seeing any new results. Just going to watch a number slowly go up. Alright, hopefully there aren't too many invisible people in this race, because we are lagging a lot right now, which means we go slow. Roblox physics for ya. Anyways, what else? Oh yeah, Ghost Simulator Jeopardy or whatever. I still been thinking about that. I think that'd be a cool video idea. I think the problem is I'm not very great at producing videos. I stream a lot more than I make videos, and the videos I do make are generally shorter in nature and more informative rather than like what? Yeah, my videos are generally informative and not, what's the other word? This is actually a common word that I'm missing. Anyways, videos for me just for like people to watch or whatever. I'm not great at making them, and they probably turn out pretty bad. So something like that is just kind of still an idea that's brewing. I'd have to actually see how it works out. Like looking at like me naming 100 pets, that's probably about the quality I'd expect from if I made a Jeopardy video. It would be kind of lower quality, less watched, whatever. Not really something I plan on committing too much to. Yeah. Oh, how far is the live stream behind? Because I feel like right now, I had a lot of lag right at the beginning of the stream, so I feel like that pushed the delay up quite a bit on this stream. Like generally it's around 5 to 15 seconds. But if you have enough lag, it'll actually buffer the video a little bit for you guys. Roblox will just do that automatically, and then it adds a little bit more delay, which is kind of obnoxious. Alright, nice boss timer. Actually, this is the same server we were in before. It should be only about 15 seconds. Okay, that's good to know. Sometimes when it does get really laggy at the start of the stream, like it was this time, I've heard people like 30, 50 seconds, and it's kind of like, oh well. But yeah, it's good to see that it isn't quite that long. Even if that's like 15 seconds, like seems like a lot of time. You guys aren't going to notice really. It's only going to be like chat messages or whatever, where it's going to be like, oh, I said that 5 minutes ago. Why are you answering it now or whatever? Which between me reading chat every once in a while, only occasionally, and any bit of stream delay, it kind of add up to a lot of time between you guys sending a message and me actually seeing it and reading it. Oh, Sentinel. Okay, I don't know what you guys were thinking about Sentinel, but I was kind of expecting what we have right now, where Sentinel is kind of less players on average than Ghost Simulator. Like they're both still doing decent, um, not like super great when you compare it to other bigger Roblox games that all of you guys know, but it is definitely nice to see that Ghost Simulator still has maintained a pretty high player base even with the release of Sentinel. I know other people, not me specifically, but other people were worried that the release of Sentinel would like lower the Ghost Simulator player counts like noticeably. But it's good to see that that isn't the case. Like I was mostly expecting based on the different genres. Overall, I thought it would be just net positive for both games, since neither of them really interfere with like the genre and the feel of the other game too much. They're really only kind of supporting each other. Um, but yeah. Yeah, on my main account, I've been actually wiki work has been one of the things I've been doing quite a bit for Sentinel, which sounds boring and it is kind of boring, but it does need to get done. One of the things, actually, the formulas for the weapon damage in Sentinel is actually really confusing. It's been okay. I haven't worked on it recently, but I spent like 5 hours one day or whatever just trying to figure it out. And the best thing I have so far, I don't have any adamant numbers, but the amount of damage a weapon does seems to increase based on the level. Like obviously increase based on the level it is, but not like level times a certain amount like linearly, or even like exponentially, where each level is like 10% better than the previous level. It's actually looks like, from what I can tell, to be about an exponent or a polynomial increase about seven over six. So the level to the power of 7/6, which is really hard to explain. But it's kind of a confusing thing, but it does seem to produce clean results when at least doing it with the Desmos graphing calculator, or whatever, plotting points and then shoving it in and letting it figure out the slope of it and whatever the equation, does seem to produce pretty good numbers. So that's the best idea I have for Sentinel number stuff. If you guys can't tell, I really love figuring out numbers. I'm the person who has done like all the stat lists for Ghost Simulator. Yeah, it's kind of kind of something I do enjoy doing is the stats for games. So definitely been enjoying that. There's also a few other things in Sentinel that are kind of interesting. Obviously, the game isn't completely out yet. But, for instance, the featured items and the daily items kind of share a lot of the same similarities. And wondering whether or not there's a rotation there is something that I've been kind of wanting to figure out at some point. I think, yeah, Grim's over here. Alright, we should be good. He'll count us as the boss now, even if we don't finish it, but we have plenty of time. Yeah, I mean, oh, and strategies for Sentinel. I don't know. I'm not too much of a fan of the strategies of Sentinel. Specifically, I really do not like the turret strategy. It just feels weird to be spamming turrets or whatever. Public servers. Someone with like level 27 with all the turrets spammed down doing about the same amount of damage as someone like 50 levels higher than them. Just because Sentinel, or just because all the turrets do so much damage. I don't know. Just in general, the I don't know. As a casual player, it just feels weird. Some of the other things are a bit weird too, like the I don't know. It feels like you run out of ammo way too easily with like primaries and whatever, which is kind of obnoxious. I understand why you do want people to be running out of ammo. It makes ammo conservation a little bit better, but at the same time, it just feels like you run out empty and you're better off just using your secondary, your pistol or whatever, to do most of your damage, just so you don't actually run out of ammo halfway into a boss and whatever. Okay, we shouldn't be unable to sell. Yeah, every once in a while... Okay, there we go. Every once in a while, there's some Roblox glitches that affects Ghost Simulator. Generally, it's fairly small, but... Yeah. I know there's been one that... It hasn't actually happened recently, but a few months... Over a year ago, I guess. It was actually pretty frequent to be unable to sell in all the worlds for whatever reason. Which is kind of annoying. It stayed that way for like 3 days or something. Joining when there's a race ongoing is probably the worst. Yeah, about this account. So this account is actually getting really close to rebirthing, as I've been saying earlier. We're about 1 episode, so next episode we should be able to rebirth. There are a few things I want to do before I rebirth on this account, and then after this I rebirth on this account, I have some specific plans for it. Before I rebirth on this account, I want to go ahead and complete my index for Void, which will take quite a bit of crate keys. Might even have to grind some Void keys. Maybe unbox. I'll definitely unbox like all the boards up to like Godly or whatever from board crates, because I haven't done any of that up till now, which will take quite a bit of gems, especially for like backdoor, and then also for Void doing all that. So that will be a little bit slow. And then also I want to go ahead and at least show you guys how you guys can get good pets on your account before your rebirth. I probably won't use the lucky cats I get stat-wise, but I do want to make at least some content on that, so you guys can know how to, or other people can know how to get the best pets before their rebirth, so they aren't spending as much time on their next rebirths struggling up. Because actually having good pets on your rebirths makes it a whole lot faster, especially if you're planning on doing every quest again, like I am, because some of those quests for getting currencies were just a huge pain. I just realized there's no need to do pet crates again. Yes, because the pet crates will save after your rebirth. We will be no longer restricted on like requiring to do our index. The one issue is we'll have to go all the way up to Void. So Void is going to be the main difficulty addition on after a rebirth. And actually, up until Void, everything should be like 4 or 5 times faster. But once we get to Void, it will become a little bit more grindy. We'll have to see what the best pets we can get are. We'll probably have to go ahead and grind out for some Ghostly Vision mythicals somehow, so we can have those pets for getting through Remnant Zone. Since I don't really think I have anything better than that accessible to me at the moment. Yes, hard mode, it is kind of just an arbitrary set of rules that I created for making Ghost Simulator kind of hard. Some of it is just making it harder, some of it is playing through like how the devs intended it. So some of the two most obvious or two most important rules, I think, is that you can't unbox from a pet crate unless you've got everything from the pet crate before it. So you can't use crate keys on like pet crate. Wow, that was a weird server. I think I joined a private server on accident. You can't unbox use your crate keys on the most expensive pet crate to get some whatever best pets possible. You can't, and you have to complete every single quest in an area before you can move on. So instead of what a normal player would do with just skipping Agent Blaze and Luna before moving on from main hub, I was required to go ahead and do Agent Blaze's quest to unbox one godly pet, and Luna's quest to go ahead and upgrade my pack and back all the way up to max and main hub before I was able to go on to Ghost World, which also applied to Ghost World with having to complete Shelly, Jax, all those before moving on to Backdoor, which added a lot of time to those. Other than that, there are a lot of very common rules like no trading, no codes, no pay to win, that kind of make it a lot more, that just make it like no cheesing. Yeah, I think that's it. Yes, I do plan on doing all the void crates before rebirthing. I do not plan on doing indexes for like dev chests or anything like that. I think that's a bit too overkill. I I personally think like I haven't even grinded on my main account for mythicals, for instance, from like the Remnant Zone boss or the new Great Guardian chest. So I do not plan on requiring indexes for those. Like maybe I could argue that I should go for all the ones from the Great Guardian chest, like all of those up to Godly or whatever. But I don't think that's going to be necessary. And yeah, I definitely will not be going for dev classifieds. That's we aren't going. I don't even think we're going for dev heads. Even though dev heads are a pretty good stat pet to get, they are a bit pay to win with the Boss Gum and Game Pass additions that make it easier to get them. But even on a free to play, I think it's reasonable to get them. I think it's like, I don't know. On this account, I think it would take us about 2.5 hours to get one of those dev heads. So not actually too bad time wise. It takes longer than getting Lucky Cats, which are better in stats. But realistically speaking, it's not super long for getting stats of a dev head. Yeah, what other stat pets do we have? Like, realistically speaking, on this account, we're either skipping directly from here. We're going from here, and then we're going to be getting mythicals. Either going to be doing we are going to be doing Lucky Cats. We won't be using them, or the Ghostly Vision mythicals. And then after that, we're probably skipping directly from mythicals straight up to like classifieds like Cosmic Wing. I don't see a reason to do the intermediate step of getting divines, and there's really no other good pets between mythicals and Cosmic Wing and stats. And then once you get Cosmic Wing, it's going straight up to Sandstorm, which is another 3x jump or whatever. So we're actually like really close to maxing out on stats as it is right now. Even though we have like literally just Adam as our best stat pet or whatever. We're pretty close to being out of options on upgrading, other than going for like the super endgame Cosmic Wings, which I haven't decided whether we're going to do a Cosmic Wing on this account. It'd be a lot more grindy than on my main account, where I can probably get one every 10 minutes or something. On this account, it'd probably, once we complete our next rebirth, so another double the time we've already spent or whatever. Probably take us, I don't know, somewhere around ballpark of 20 hours per Cosmic Wing, which is just ridiculous because it's like 2 hours if I had all the Game Passes at that point. And then it's also then 4 times faster to get that point if you have all those Game Passes. Yeah, this game is not great when it comes to pay to win versus free to play balance. There's a lot of time saved from being pay to win. Which, I mean, in some respects it isn't. It's fine because pay to win is how people make their money. But the fact that it is like permanent, I think makes it a lot worse than if it was like one-time purchases. Because the thing about one-time purchases, you have to really wail for them, which is, it's bad for a game design or bad from a user design perspective when people have to constantly pay for an advantage or whatever. Season passes or whatever all the games have at this point. But from like the game design perspective, it makes sure that if people are going to have a huge advantage over others, that they are paying for it every time instead of just paying for it once and then having it forever. The gems for a Cosmic Wing only takes you 4 minutes. Yeah, no, it's become ridiculously easy to get Cosmic Wings. Like, the jump from Cosmic Wing to Sandstorm is just insane in stats. It's about a 3 times more expensive crate, and it offers around 3 times more stats. If you look at any other chests, like you go from, what is it? What's a good example here? Let me pull up my stat sheet. But like you look at like stat increases from Inferno up to Cosmic Wing, and that's like one whole world or whatever. That's 4 pet crates. And it's like a 20, 30, 40%, not even double. Might be up to like 70, 80%, but it's not even double. Then you look at Cosmic Wing to Sandstorm, which is a whole world up. And like you have to rebirth there. But because of how many intermediary classifieds they had the Cloud Wave, and they have dead classifieds in between. They just continued adding on those stats instead of like bringing it back to Cosmic Wing. Cosmic Wing was really pretty easy to get. Cloud Wave was like impossible to get, and then dead classifieds are a little bit easier to get. Then Sandstorm came out, and it was pretty much as easy to get as Cosmic Wing, especially with how it came out with all the vacuums and packs and whatever. It was just insane, like how good Sandstorm was. And then you look at like Sandstorm, looking at the stuff past Sandstorm. We have Sandstorm 550,000 per crate. Then you have 1 million. Then you have like 2.5 million or whatever, and then you have 10 million. You're only getting like a 10% stat increase for each of those. So you're literally growing by like 20x cost. For only a 1.4x stat increase, or 1.3x stat increase, whatever, from Sandstorm to Pet Crate 17. Whereas for from Cosmic Wing to Sandstorm, you have a 3x cost increase, or 2 and a 2.75 cost increase, and like a 2.5x stat increase. So it's actually like the comparison there is like really dubious. Like, even when you look at, like, Rainwave to, like, Rainwave to Twister and whatever, in this early crates, they actually, even though their costs increase a lot, because of how, like, gem grinding works early game, this is a weird comparison. Gem grinding early game is kind of a pain. No one goes for classifieds early game, so it's kind of not really a fair comparison, because no one uses these pets for stats. But like it's a 7x like cost increase, or a 6x cost increase, and it's like an actual 3x pet increase stat wise, which no one cares about the pet stats of these early crates other than like the commons. But the point is that the stat increase for cost for like Cosmic Wing to Sandstorm is just insane, and like there's no other good example of that. But yeah, that's pet stats. Pet stats are kind of weird at the moment. And yeah, it's mainly has to do with the Sandstorm, I think. But like also the same thing is like at the same time as Sandstorm's release, all of the stats of a classified are based on the like stats of like the godlies below it, and the godlies below like Sandstorm or whatever are useless. So like you have this weird area where all of the pet crates are kind of, all the pets from the like godly and below from Void are actually useless. Like no one's used any of them really, and like new players just skip them or whatever. But you can't increase them, because if you increase them, you have to increase the classified stats, which are already super overpowered. And I think that's a really bad issue for various reasons in the game, because like early game they have really no pet options. As I said, we are pretty much maxed out on the pets that we're going to be using at this point. And we have Unstable, Adam, Wilson's, and Starlight. And this is like the high end of pre-rebirth people. most people are going to have worse pets than this before their rebirth, and they are still not going to have very many upgrades because like getting godlies is actually a pain at this point. Not for this count because I have been strictly sticking to good progression points for gems and whatever. But like on other people's account, it is pretty tough to actually do that. Get godlies and whatever. So yeah, I think that's one of the pain points of Ghost Simulator is that disconnect between how good stats are for like end game versus there's really no good stat progression for like end game versus normal play versus pay to win versus free to play, whatever. It's completely disjoint. Because after Lucky Cats, there's no good pets to grind for free to play. You're either having to grind at like a quarter efficiency because you're missing boss drops, game pass, and double items, or you have to grind at like a 1/8 efficiency by grinding for classifieds. Like Lucky Cats is like the last actually, Lucky Cats are perfect. Thing about Lucky Cats, they don't have their drops increased by anything, so you can't, if you don't have 2x drops or 2x boss drops or gum of any sort, you don't actually get more of the lucky loot bag, which makes it really balanced for new play or free to play players, because rather than grinding at a way that's balanced for end games where end games aren't getting too much, they're actually able to grind the same rate, meaning they can actually get like decent stat pets without having to spend 4 times longer than what it'd take another one, which is kind of nice. I mean, obviously having a little bit of pay to win is nice, but it definitely is a good option for getting stats. And it's kind of unfortunate that like that's like the only way to get good stats, really. But yeah, it is the current case. That can't be right. Okay, I was just looking at stats, and I have known in like for a long time there's been this set of overpowered stats. Actually, I'll show you guys. Don't close my Roblox. You're closing my Roblox. Anyways, these event pass godlies or whatever from the Christmas, Halloween, and Easter event from like 2000 and whatever, they had like really strong sell rates. Like this is a huge rate. Like you look at stuff around it, 200 to 76, really strong sell rate. They were actually, I didn't realize they were pretty much just as good as the mythicals, stat wise. And like, I mean, I didn't realize just how strong it is, because really all that matters when you are talking about stats in Ghost Simulator is your sell stat. Higher sell stat means you get more currency, which means you get more gems. Vacuum rate, at least once you get a Remnant World, is absolutely useless. Ghost World, it's pretty much useless as long as you're not on your first time through. Same with like Backdoor, really. As long as you're on your first time through the game, vacuum rate is useless. On your first time through, it can be slightly more useful. But when given the option between having a higher sell rate or a higher vacuum rate, you almost always want to go with the sell rate, because even if you are going through it for the first time, having a higher sell rate means you get a better vacuum, which means you can vacuum ghosts faster anyways. So yeah, it's kind of just scales better. But yeah, because of how mismatched those stats were, they're like really good stats. And like even now, with our current event pass pets, the event pass from this event, which 2 years later than whenever that came out, we lagged right at the end there. It's kind of obnoxious. Is actually worse in stats than that pet that came out 2 years ago, and it's kind of. I don't think it's not literally worse because it has a much higher vacuum rate, but it kind of just shows how stagnant the stats have become in Ghost Simulator, and like nothing's really changing too much. Oh, we have a Grim here. We'll go ahead and do the Grim. I know I've probably skipped a few Grims already. Even if it's at 100%, it's still pretty good time-wise. Yeah. As I said, these streams are going to be very boring. I'm going to try to keep stuff talking about, but there's only so much I can repeat the same 5 sentences before you all start catching on. So, but yeah, we are on track. We have done just under 12 races in about an hour. So, just under the one race every 5 hours that I was expecting, which can definitely be allotted to the fact that we are doing a little bit more bosses just because we were a bit closer than I was thinking on our boss to race ratio. Which probably isn't strictly necessary, but might as well. Am I planning on using Enchanted Boss Gum on your main for any bosses in the near future? Mainly Christmas when that comes out. It really depends what Christmas event is. If it's similar to Main Hub or similar to Halloween, where it has a lot of mini bosses or whatever in a row, then I won't be using it. But if the boss takes more than 10 minutes per boss, then yes, I'll be going ahead and using Boss Gum. That's about my threshold. Technically, the threshold's probably closer to like 6 minutes for glitchy Boss Gum. And since I got the Enchanted Boss Gum from a trade, it's a little bit more free in some respects. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of my rule of thumb. If the boss takes longer than 10 minutes per boss, then I'll go ahead and use Boss Gum on it. If it takes less than that, I will buy the event pass and just grind it passively without any gum usage. Even at 10 minutes, you can make the argument that it's going to be better to spend it on the final boss, because the final boss takes 15 minutes. Because strictly speaking, Boss Gum, what it boils down to is time saved. So you either save time because you don't have to do as many bosses, because you're getting more per boss. And so how much time you spent getting the gums versus how much time you're saving by using the gums on the boss. And the shorter the boss is, the less time you save because you have to use more gum in your certain time. Or if the boss time is longer, then you're gaining more time because you're using one boss gum to X up your 15 minutes for like final boss or whatever. So instead of getting, so yeah, that's generally how I think about Boss Gum. I think if it's like last year where it has that one boss at the end of the tower, then yes, I think it's useful. Last year, I don't think I did it just because the boss had 3 keys, 6 if you have the event pass at the end of the tower anyways. So rather than it being like, oh yeah, you get one boss, there's only one boss. It was one boss plus keys that you're getting for free. So it went from like 9 keys per boss with the event pass and double boss drops up to like, with glitchy Boss Gum, it only added 6 more. So it was like I got an additional 60% of the tower or whatever, rather than it being a 3x of the tower additional. So yeah, it really depends what the math looks out. If it's like last year, I won't. If it's like last year, but you only get one key at the end, then I probably will. If it's like Halloween, I won't. But as I said, this Christmas will probably be a bit smaller. I'm not expecting a mega boss on day 1 of the event. I'm expecting that to be part 2 release at the best. Just because they don't have a main developer on it right now. They are, again, as I said, they're looking for developers, so they're going to be probably hiring within the next week, I'd imagine, and hopefully getting them started so that they can have a bigger Christmas event. But I'm not expecting, since it will be a new developer, that it would be a mega boss on day 1. So we might not even get a mega boss this event. We'll see. Oh, so that's why you're asking. So would you mind lending me as much as you can? After stream, of course. Yeah, actually, yeah, sure. I don't use it. I don't really plan on using it ever. And honestly, if I am going to use gum, I generally grind for my own glitchy boss gum, just because, like, glitchy boss gum's really easy to grind for. Like, I think it's about 2 times easier to grind than enchanted, and it only gives, like, 25% less. So it's much more worthwhile to get and grind for time, just strictly time speaking, than enchanted. But yeah, I can definitely lend you some of your enchanted boss gums back. Alright, we'll go ahead and go swirl top. I think I have 25 enchanted that you gave me, plus like 9 glitchy if you need those, but yeah. I wouldn't recommend using it on the Halloween event. As I said, a Halloween event, you aren't saving that much time. It's a boss every 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes on average. But yeah, no, it definitely can save some time if you don't have time. That's like the one time where it's like not like strictly a time speaking. If you're running out of time on something like Halloween event, for instance, it's late, whatever, you're going to get 1 mythical. Burning those it's a limited time event versus you can always grind gum. But yeah, that's the way I like to do my math on like whether or not something's worth it in a game. Is the time lost versus the time gained or whatever. Same with Lucky Gum. Like, if you're spending, 5 hours grinding gems for a Sandstorm or Sunspot or whatever, and you aren't using enchanted or glitchy Lucky Gum, you are literally just wasting your time, even though it takes time to go grind that Lucky Gum. The amount of time you're saving on not having to grind gems is just so worth it. Yeah. That's one of the points I said. I think we joined the same server and someone just used an event bait or whatever. But yeah, there's definitely reasons to use it more than just time wise. I'm a bit obtuse in some respects on how I calculate stuff. But yeah. But if I'm calculating it all out, the best thing for me to do right now is get a job, and I obviously am not trying too hard on that. So, I'm maybe not as strictly for the math as possible. But yeah, I keep thinking about what else I'm doing in this stream, and it's literally just sitting here doing bosses like this for the next 2 hours. This might be a shorter stream. I'm guessing we might shorten this stream down to 2.5 hours. I mean, we've already done like an hour already, so still have a bit more to go. But I am thinking it'll be a little bit shorter than usual just because, you know, it's the same thing over and over again. Only so much I can talk about during one of these streams. Actually, you can definitely see it in the viewer counts. I mean, half the reason I do streams like this is just for myself. I like to see how long this game takes on this account. Gives me a very good basis to base like numbers off of like how stuff should be balanced. The only like real problem is like I don't see what a new player sees. Like I remember my new player experience in Ghost Simulator. When I first joined, like I was paying attention to every single detail. I'm like reading these signs to figure out what each of these areas are. Nowadays, I don't even notice if a sign like this exists. But like, yeah, you're super slow walking around. You're like, ooh, such a big world. Block City and Tenna Level 2. You're trying to get up here to read what this one says. And it's just kind of a pain. But yeah, now that I'm not doing that, which means I don't know exactly what a new player experience is. I just kind of have the I know what a player would spend if they were doing exactly what I'm doing, which is not how people play the game when they're first playing it, but yeah. Oh, there's an invisible person somewhere. I can hear them. Basically, if you use a gum, everyone else's screen will have your avatar frozen. And right now we're lagging a little bit, so we're losing time. Like, you know, going in a straight line and you're halfway behind the person. Actually, maybe that's just my own hoverboard. But yeah, basically if you use a gum on everyone else's screen, your avatar freezes, which can be really obnoxious because it kind of makes other people's avatars invisible when they're like grinding anything efficiently, which I know during the towers is kind of weird when you're just watching someone vacuum random ghosts like that isn't even there, or the stream's going from forever away. If you're grinding in like main hub with a gum or whatever, you're literally just chilling like here or whatever and vacuuming ghosts everywhere, and it's like you're like trying to figure out where you're coming from and whatever. It's a really weird bug. But yeah. Oh, you spent a lot of time playing Minecraft? Yeah. I don't know. Actually, the one game I've been playing recently, I haven't really been playing Minecraft. Minesweeper. Not normal Minesweeper. I have this. There's one on Steam I downloaded. Bombe, B-O-M-B-E. But you basically code the rules of Minesweeper or whatever. You're given an area and then you have to tell the computer what to clear, what to, based on like the numbers that you have logic-wise. It's actually really interesting and like, I find it really fun. Very basic, but also very, like, trying to tell the computer why the cell has to be clear, because there are, because it has some nice limitations too. Like, you can't have just 5 things, so you can't just, or you can only have 4 things, for the numbers or whatever selected. So you have to make some logics where you're like, okay, these 3 make this one, so I can use that one and these 2 others. So instead of using all 5, you have to use that, which can make some really good puzzles, because like you can have a series of 5 or whatever, where this series of 5 literally means there can't be a bomb there, but you have to figure out how to dissect that into like 2 different pieces or whatever so you can explain it to the computer. I think it's really cool. Actually, I was kind of thinking about, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know. It's really hard for me to like make content on other games. Like, I know how to, but like, I like to, it's much easier for me to just enjoy that game playing it. Like, I enjoy playing games. And like, making a video on it, how many people are actually going to watch a video I make? I joined a private server again. I always do this. So yeah, I'm doing a lot more than, like, actually even on Ghost Simulator recently, I've been playing a lot of Ghost Simulator that I haven't like streamed or whatever, or made any videos on whatsoever. Towers, for instance, for Halloween, I have grinded up a 250 mythical that I gave away on my Discord server. That's like 5 hours of grinding. I completed all the quests off stream, off video. Actually, on video. I haven't released the video. Actually, would you guys like to see me just go through all the dialogue of the NPCs? I recorded me doing... I didn't do their quests, really, like not the tower quests or whatever. I kind of cut all that out. All the tower grinding out, specifically. But, like, I did all their dialogue, most of their less grindy quests, like when you're grabbing ghosts or whatever. Would you guys like to see that? Like, I'm not talking too much during it. I'm just kind of running around doing it. Recording their dialogue, whatever. I talk a few times, but, like, most of the time I'm just silent. Would that be an interesting video that you guys would like to see? Or, like, I have all the clips. I just would need to upload it. It'd be about an hour and a half, I think. Mainly just dialogue and me grabbing random ghosts. I don't know. It was more or less me just being like, hey, let me go complete the event, more than anything else. But yeah, looks like we have a race event next. It is kind of short enough of a timer where I don't want to see it. Maybe post it and see how it goes. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I don't know. I'd have to edit it together. As I said, I did different clips. It would probably only take me, like, I don't know, 15 minutes to edit it all together. I just grab all the clips, shove them together. Make sure I'm not watching any videos in the background while it's running, you know, simple stuff like that, you know, you expect from someone making a YouTube video. Reminder of that one time I uploaded a video where I was kind of, had a video playing in the background on YouTube. But yeah. Right. Yeah, I'll probably end up uploading it. Like, it's one of those videos where it's very similar to a stream, where it just kind of was so confused. Yes, yeah, I know what you mean. Like sometimes, sometimes when you're like playing a game or whatever, you don't realize you have YouTube open in the background, and then all of a sudden, or you have two music like you're playing a game and you're watching a YouTube video, and like there's like background music in the YouTube video or in the game or whatever, and you're thinking it's coming from the other, and you're like, what am I hearing? What is that? I know sometimes with like bass beats or whatever, it's like, wait, is that coming from the game or the YouTube video? Or yeah. It's even worse if it's something else where where it has no reason to come from a YouTube video, someone else's, some random YouTube video. But yeah. Make some shorts. Just a quick burst of fun facts would be cool. Yeah, I've been thinking about shorts. I think the main thing is I don't like the shorts format. I don't know. I like longer term stuff. More informative. Less of a strict time schedule. The thing is, my editing software is not built for short creations where you have to put a lot of detail into it. It's a very basic video editing software. So, like, if I wanted to add detailed effects or whatever, I probably could, but it'd take a lot longer than if I had like something like, I don't know, Adobe products or whatever, where they have all those stuff where you could just one click add a effect to the video, and now the video is 3 times better. But yeah, that's actually generally why you don't see as many high detailed like edits or whatever in my video. Like the most you guys will get is a caption every once in a while in my videos. You won't be getting like, oh, giant spinning stuff, giant very good effects with like, oh, having stuff pop up on screen when I talk about it or whatever. Like half that's just because I don't want to make all that stuff, but it's also kind of hard to do that. It'd take me probably 3 times longer to create videos if I had a pop up every time I mentioned like Boss Gum. You have just a snapshot of store opening to Boss Gum or someone using it or whatever. Making those clips is kind of difficult to warrant, and then, you know, at the same time, not really useful. Also, I feel like it's been like 15 minutes and we've done like one race or something. We've been going very slow in terms of progression. Oh yeah. There is definitely a little bit of weird lag issues with Mini Witch I've noticed. Um, on my main account when I've been grinding her, every once in a while the laser parts of her, when she does the laser spin attack, um, she does an insane amount of damage just because you like lag at the wrong moment or whatever during the fight. And you can lag out and literally get dealt. I think I got dealt like I went from like 20 to 90% in like less than a second or whatever from outside her. And then occasionally, her position like height wise is actually different sometimes during the attack. Sometimes you're able to stand right underneath her because she's like a lot taller height wise and not be hit by anything. And then actually some other times it's actually a lot lower. So if you're standing right in the middle, you're getting hit by all four continuously, which is pretty much an instant death based on how much damage it does. I don't think there's a correct cooldown or whatever with that, whereas like with other laser attacks, which kind of makes sense because it isn't like honing in on you, but also is really annoying if you do get hit for prolonged periods of time. But yeah, and then also having that attack that glitches, or that, not glitches her, that pushes her outside, or has her outside the arena is always kind of annoying for players trying to grind her. Grind a boss just because like you can't shoot the boss at that time, so you're just kind of doing no damage and just watching her do nothing. Just, you know, chilling there waiting for her to come back down or whatever. Same thing with Mini Witch or Mini Wisp. I think they have pretty much the same exact attack. So for that one, it has, I think Mini Witch has like, or Witch, Lantern Witch. That's the name of the boss. The pet is Mini Witch. That's pretty unique attacks. I really like the attack patterns it has. Again, all of the stuff in Ghost Simulator suffers from the Roblox platform being a bit buggy. And the fact that most people playing on Roblox don't have the best devices. So, you know, someone's you know, first generation laptop or, you know, iPad that they're playing on ain't going to be very fun to play some of these fights with. Not on Roblox. Not really on any game console, but yeah. I think we're getting third on this race unless something really changes. No, we got first somehow. I don't know. It definitely appeared like he was like slightly behind us on our screen, but because of how like the server lag works, technically they're a different position on their screen, which is what really matters. But yeah, yeah, races in general are kind of whack. But yeah, we're just kind of now waiting for people to go ahead and finish up the rest of the race so we can get our quest completion and move on. Yeah, that's the other thing I might do at some point is a cube stream, because like every once in a while I do show off something from here, but like I don't know, I've shown this before. I have like a huge variety of like Rubik's cubes up here. Very bad time to be lagging, computer. Can you like catch up, please? But yeah, a lot of different cubes. This one's cool. It's actually probably the one I don't know how to solve. I can solve it, but out of all of them, this is probably one I'd struggle the most with. A lot of other more simple cubes, 3x3s, you know, 4x4s, simpler stuff than that. Yeah. Nothing super crazy other. But, you know. Yeah, Grim's arrived, so we'll go ahead and grab Grim while you're here. Actually, just out of curiosity, for anyone that's ever grinded dinos for any reason, like even just for Yoke or whatever, what is the order you guys check the spawn spots in? I know for myself, I always go to the beach area, then Wild West, and then finally Junkyard. For whatever reason, and I do the same thing with a lot of other bosses where I check it in the same spots every single time. And really for no reason. But I'm wondering if it's like something where we all agree on the same thing, where it's like a learned habit, or if it's just kind of each person figures out what they like best and that's what they do. Actually, for anomaly, I'm the worst. I literally, I don't remember what. Actually, no. My exact search pattern is like, I will check the swamp, then I'll check the ice area. Then I go back to spawn, check the spaceship, then I check farm, then I check the mushroom. Like all this is with like going back, teleporting, whatever. Check mushroom, then the stream, River City, and then I finally check the barn. So if it's in the barn, I'm like here, and it's a mess. And I don't know. That's just always how I check, and it's the most inefficient way possible to do it. But yeah. Where do I think is the best place to grind turkey legs? I'd either do a backdoor cycle, using the backdoor route I use for gum grinding. I've pinned this up, set it other places. Basically doing all those areas. That's mainly due to overcharge being super nice, allowing you to collect a lot of ghosts at the same time. Or I'd go Ghost World / main hub so that you have like the infinite capacity to store ghosts. The thing is, you'll be vacuuming a little less ghosts at a time just because of how the spawn spots have been set up. It's really hard to do cycles and whatever in those areas. But yeah, I'd recommend backdoor. Pretty much anywhere but Remnant Zone though is going to be fine. Actually, I wouldn't go Void either. Just because it's kind of no teleporters. But yeah, either main hub or backdoor. I'd go backdoor with the just normal gum grinding strategy. I think that gets you the most ghosts. But yeah. I go to the fence with signs, jump on it to check beach, then Wild West, then Junkyard. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the dino thing is just because what's most visible. You're closest to that top area. Wild West is then next close, and then you have to go all the way back there for Junkyard. Obviously for Anomaly, that's just because I never grind Anomaly. Never really have a correct search pattern really developed for that. But yeah, okay, it's. Oh, that, I find that one funny. I find, like, the way people search is kind of refined, even though it really doesn't make too much of a difference. And then also during bosses and whatever. Like, when you're new to the game, you're, like, always moving around during a boss fight. You're trying to avoid stuff, trying to prepare for the next attack. When you like, this point, pretty much anytime I do a boss fight on my main account, where I'm not super laggy or whatever, like, I am literally pretty much AFKing, because, like, I'm not spending energy dodging attacks. I don't need to dodge attacks, really. I mean, if an attack is coming and I can dodge it easily, I will. But most of the time, it's just like, okay, cool. I'll take that attack full on. Especially, like, during the Halloween, I'm noticing a lot of, like, you're playing with a lot of random people in public servers, I am literally AFK. The boss will do like a charge attack at me or whatever, and I literally just equip the hoverboard or whatever to dodge the stomps or whatever. I just said whatever 3 times in like 5 seconds. I'm sorry. You see everyone else moving around, and you're just kind of chilling in one spot the whole time. It's kind of funny how the end game devolves from like high skill gameplay of dodging boss attacks down to a low skill of AFK shoot a boss. Probably not the best thing to have for a game, but pro server hopping tip: if you hear a boom when you enter a server, there's a boss being vacuumed. I mean, yeah, you can also just see the timer right when you get in. I guess before you fully load or whatever, you can hear it, but you know, I'm just going to wait the additional like 15 seconds to fully load a server so I know whether or not there's a boss. I don't think that's always the case, because that's only makes a boom if a boss is currently being fought. So if a boss is just sitting AFK, like a Dino King, for instance, in wherever, it's not going to register, and you still want to grab it. For, No, I mean, like, it's only helpful if you aren't immediately loading and seeing this timer already, because you can immediately load, see this timer, and be like, okay, boss has spawned, I can go teleport. Or, I mean, yes, it works for the mini bosses where you can't see the timer, like the Ghostly Vision stuff. But that requires someone to be fighting a mini boss, Ghostly Vision mini boss, and most of the time, people aren't fighting Ghostly Vision mini bosses. Most of the time, you'll hop into the server, and there'll be one just chilling AFK, whatever, in a corner. Yeah, but it only works when it's not. And, like, even if a boss isn't being currently fought, like you're saying, you kind of still want to grab it because it is spawned. No, that is how you spell it. I think in that context, you'd... Yeah, in that context, you'd use fought. Being fought. But yeah. My point is not that it doesn't make a sound. My point is that you might want it even if it doesn't make a sound, and that the sound that you hear is going to be approximately when you're able to visually see whether there's a boss spawned, unless it's a Ghostly Vision boss. It's more useful than you'd think. I mean, yeah, I'm sure, like, the 1 in 10 chance or whatever you hear it, you can be like, okay, there's a Ghostly Vision boss somewhere that I need to go fight. But most of the times, wouldn't you already spend time going and finding that boss anyways? I know I would. Obviously, you probably have better strategies than me, but I have a feeling even if you aren't hearing a boss currently being fought in a server, you'd probably stick around just to see if there is a mini boss anywhere. I'm assuming that's more efficient than spending another 15 seconds to server hop. Just to check, spend 15 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever to see if there's a boss there. I don't know. Maybe it'd be more efficient just to server hop until you find a confirmed boss versus checking every server for bosses. I don't know. Because, yeah, it is quite a bit of time to check to make sure there is no boss. But if there is a boss, even if it is 100%, it's better than finding server hopping like 3 times and not finding anything. Alright, let's go ahead, use the best bait. 50 boss bait. We have 62 races left. 53 bosses left. Yeah, I'll definitely off stream when I'm grinding not be using as much boss bait just so I have a bit of it conserved. I think the plan would be to go ahead and complete this next stream, so do have as many races as I need for that. Oh, while doing Blade. Okay, I see now. I was thinking you're just referring to like when you're just grinding bosses, or for Yoko or whatever. But yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah, I guess. I still don't think it's very situational. As I said, not very many people are going to be actively grinding Ghostly Vision bosses. Especially like when you're on the first part of Agent Blaze. Like, you're only doing main hub for that instance. I guess you could find some in backdoor. Anomaly is pretty common. But you'd see backdoor timer for anomaly. In Anonymous, not very many people fight Anonymous anymore. Oh, I should sell. Just so no one yells at me about wasting gems or whatever. Alright, we've done about an hour and a half. I think I'm going to go for about another hour, 2.5 hours of grinding, and then call it good for today. Do a lot of it off stream, and then next stream we'll do another like hour, 2 hours, complete it all, and then work on the other stuff I mentioned for completing before we rebirth. Actually, if I plan to do an hour, that gives us time to go ahead and... It's way on the far side, isn't it? Nope, okay. Yeah, I see that, but... How often is Anomaly actually done in public servers? Because on one hand, like, public servers are really good at doing bosses. Just because, like, someone in there is random and is just kind of playing the game to play the game. So they're like, oh, boss, I'll do a boss. Not really planning on doing anything particular. But, like, once you get to backdoor, a lot of people are dedicated to doing it. So, I don't know. It's done more than you think. Yeah, I realize it gets done quite a bit. I just, again, I'm horrible at finding anomalies. So, I see, oh yeah, knowing an anomaly exists versus knowing where the anomaly is a huge story. There's been times where I get into a server and it takes me 35, 50 minutes to find, or 50 seconds to find the anomaly that spawned. And by then, that time, if it's already started or whatever, it could be done. Also, we're definitely getting a lot of pet levels from this. I don't think I care too much about my current pets. Actually, I do care about Unstable and Adam. The other two aren't too much of an issue, or too much of a deal, because they are godlies. And godlies are, spoiler, pretty bad in Ghost Simulator. Alright, boss event next. Where are we at? Yeah, what are our pet stats at? Level wise. Level 4 and level 6. So not too great. I mean, they are mythical, so they're pretty hard to actually level up. Level 8. Yeah, overall we have a 200 times sell rate, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I've been server hopping quite a bit. So it's actually pretty easy to get into the same server as me. Even on my main account, I was recently doing a little bit of grinding in the main. No. On this account, I've been doing a lot of grinding in main hub. Today and yesterday, both. So yeah, pretty common for me to see people. I'm up to 53,000 candy, hoping I'll get the crate 2 godly. Oh yeah, I've actually gotten a decent amount of grinding. As I said, I've been doing off-stream grinding on the Halloween event, so I know I haven't done any content whatsoever on the Halloween event this year. I don't know. I knew going into this Halloween that I would not be super making too much content on it, or that people would be super stoked for it for whatever reason. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what it's been. But I have done all the quests and been using pretty much loot gum to grind every single tower. So I've gotten 500 plus keys at this point, which is 100 towers? No, not 100 towers. 110 hours, so 50 towers or so of grinding. And been pretty much using loot gun primarily through that all, which means I've over 80,000 candies currently, plus both the most expensive boards. So I'm pretty set on that. I know other events I get up to 300,000 from grinding. That was like Easter event or whatever, the amounts you'd get up to. But yeah, 53k is good. I think these events have definitely been a lot more of a struggle to get the candy theme than previous. As I said, I had like 300,000 from the first Meep event where I got only like 1 mythical or whatever. This event, I can get like 3 or 4 mythicals before I would be able to get all the candy stuff. I think the candy stuff is actually more expensive than I think. It's still pretty easy, but like getting the godlies and whatever is still a pretty good accomplishment. My block spike content has gotten not much views compared to the past. Yeah, I don't know. I think in general it's just been lower on everything. Oh, yeah. Like, it isn't even like Ghost Simulator is down in popularity. I think we have more players in Ghost Simulator right now. It's like more than before. And I don't know how it compares to last year. I really didn't track numbers last year. I would say it's about the same as last year, maybe even, I don't know, slightly higher. I think it's just people aren't watching the content. I think it's just they're playing more, which is good in some respects, but I don't know. Yeah, no, reheating pizza is definitely the best. I don't know, cold pizza, like, even reheating in a microwave is fine, but if you have like other ways to reheat it that are better than a microwave, that's good. But yeah, reheating, I wouldn't eat cold pizza. I prefer it always hot. And you know, I'm kind of lazy, so microwave is kind of the only way I heat up stuff. We do have an air fryer in my house, but the amount of times I want to go spend 20 minutes to heat up something so it's actually nice and crunchy or whatever, instead of just getting it hot immediately, very little. And if you're asking whether or not you can leave the stream, obviously you can. Yeah, I really don't know at this point. I really should make more content than just Ghost Simulator at this point. I've made Ghost Simulator content only for I don't know how long now. But I really should. Maybe when they whatever the Minecraft update comes out, 1.21, might restart some Realm streams, or maybe even make videos on that. We'll see. It's just really hard with Minecraft. Everyone makes Minecraft videos. I make horrible videos. My quality of my content is just low. I do have like good ideas or not good ideas, but I have decent information or whatever, talking personality or whatever. But I just editing a video or editing a stream, not the best. I'm probably going to get 1 of each mythical this year for Thanksgiving. I heard people are getting like 6. It's better than last year. I remember last year it was what? I can't remember what the price was. But I was seriously thinking about getting a like 30 or whatever of each, and I just, I didn't grind. I never grind for stuff like that. But I still had like 2 of each or whatever, which is a lot. which is still quite a bit of a mythical for only spending like 2 or 3 hours on the event or whatever. But yeah, items are pretty easy to grind if people put their mind to. I think this event, I was seeing people, it's about 12,000 an hour, 20,000 an hour, somewhere around there, where it's actually will take you a few hours to get stuff, which is better than most of the time, but still not super much, not like 2019 grindy, which is a whole different time period for Ghost Simulator. But yeah, is the pet 75k or 50k? I don't know. I haven't actually looked at anything Thanksgiving related. I mean, I barely did all the quests, like, you know, after the thing. I barely did the Halloween quest after the Thanksgiving quest dropped. So, I am quite behind on my events for Ghost Simulator right now, but yeah. 15k and 25k? Okay. So it's actually not, I mean, it's about 3 times more expensive this year than last year, so it's quite a bit more expensive, but it's not like 10 times more expensive where it starts to become like, oh my, I could grind for it last year, but I can't do it this year. It's more like, okay, I could do it last year. I'm going to need to put a little bit more effort in this year for it. But yeah, me personally, I'm planning probably on getting one of each. I don't see myself grinding for any more than that. Like, definitely not grinding the 300,000 that Deadbolt will be grinding. Like, even then, it's not actually that difficult to grind the turkey legs. I think 300,000 turkey legs would probably take 15 to 20 hours, if I had to guess. Actually, maybe a bit more than that, but whatever. You're getting around 2.5 thousand turkey legs per gum. Okay, let me readjust my math then. That's 2 minutes. That's 4 for 8 minutes for 10,000. Okay. Yeah, okay, I was definitely way off. That's around 70,000 an hour. 80,000 an hour, 75,000 an hour. Somewhere around there. Yeah, no, it's not going to be too hard to get those stuff. Man, I did not grind at all last year. Yeah, 2.5k is a decent bit, yeah. I mean, that's still 75,000, even at 75,000 an hour, that's still like 5, 6 hours for whatever you want to do. Okay, 8 hours, I guess. Like 8 hours over 3 weeks, that's nothing. I mean, even if you only play like 1 hour a day or whatever, you're still able to do the full team of both easily. 1k a minute is great. Yeah. There's no way. I guess it could be that good. I guess backdoor grinding is. Is that actually realistic? I don't know. That just, I don't know. That seems way too high. But you know, I didn't even grind last year's event, and I'm not great at. I don't have very good stats for those numbers. So I'll trust you. I put a glass plate in the oven and touched it with my hand, taking it out. Bad mistake. Yeah, I wonder why. No, I'm definitely used to the microwave heating process where you can touch the plate or whatever as long as you don't have like a liquid in it that takes up all the heat and transfers it all to the plate or whatever. You can pretty much touch the plate instantly in a microwave. So anytime you cook, I cook like something on a plate in like the air fryer, which I don't think you're supposed to, but I do regardless. Or, you know, stuff in the oven. It's always like, ooh, don't touch that. Really quick, jerk your hand back. Other day with like mashed potatoes, I was pouring mashed potatoes into a different container from a pot. Handles are fine. I touched the underside on accident with like my arm or whatever. Just, you know, dumping. Since it was a pretty big pin, I'm like, ooh, hot, don't do that again. You're on YouTube? Yeah, I do a lot of public server stuff on this account. So it's pretty easy to actually get into the same server as me. Even in Void, I got a decent amount. Yeah. Actually, the thing about Void is I don't know how drops work specifically. I don't know whether drops are you have a specific amount of drops on a certain drop rarity, or if it just takes away from everything's thing. So if drop rates work, like you have a certain amount of items, you have this % chance of dropping an item, and then it's divvied out equally. I don't think that's how it works, but if that is how it works, Void would be probably the best, just because it has no other items to conflict. Most likely, it's just turkey legs have a 50% chance of dropping, and that reduces all the other chances equally. But you know, drop rates could be weird and go similar. It could be something weird like it'll only take from the gem drops, so having more gem drops is better. No one really knows when it comes to drop rates and Ghost Simulator. It could be very much different. Actually, there's one thing I could go do. Actually, can I afford that? I could afford a pixel pack. I mean, there's really no point to do this now. We aren't really upgrading any of that stuff ever, but yeah. Yeah, I think recording one gum is probably middle of a race. I think, yeah, sharing records of like what, not like just a random amount or whatever you get is actually pretty good for numbers. I know for the wiki, for instance, Sentinel right now I'm going, or actually having stats on the wiki is really helpful for when you're doing stuff like calculating how good stats are, how stuff works. So, where am I going with this? I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, even if it's like really rough numbers, just having other people be able to have a rough sense of numbers or results or whatever can be really helpful. That's kind of why I've done a bit of grinding for like using basic riff gum and glitchy riff gum on bosses or on ghosts in how do I always join the same server? In Void. And I enjoy looking at people like Big Ten when they post results for like gum usage on crates and whatever. So I can get kind of a rough comparison on how good some of the stuff is, how it's nerfed when it's used together, or how it works when used together. Because I don't think anyone truly knows right now just how like Rift Gum, Game Pass, Rebirths, and like loot bags and whatever work together. I think there might be some hidden like additive or nerfs that things are applied to or whatever on those stuff, so that we aren't really getting a true picture of how much that is. I think when I've ran numbers with like, you know, bases of all of it is multiplicative, I get like I get more than what I actually would get if I do it in like a public server or whatever. Got what, 3K legs from one Chandon gum in the back door? Yeah, it seems like grinding's a lot more efficient than I was thinking. And turkey legs were I was thinking like, you know, 10K an hour or whatever, which would actually be a bit of a grind. Probably similar to the current mythicals. It's about 55 keys per hour for the Halloween mythicals, so it takes around 5 hours for one of those. So I was expecting a similar-ish rate for the... Oh, can we get this boss really quick? Yes, we can. And 60 gums for conversion? Yeah. No, gum rates are nerfed because of the turkey legs, which does make... Actually, item rates are nerfed a little bit because of the current event, which does make it a little bit annoying if you're trying to upgrade your antenna, or pretty much do anything else right now. If you're planning to grind up rebirths, it's slower. But yeah, it's still pretty good for backdoor or whatever, getting lots of items. Item rates in backdoor are really good. There's a reason I primarily grind backdoor for gums. And half of it is because I'm too lazy to do Ghost World or Remnant World stuff. But, you know, it's also partially just due to it being the best one. You know. Being lazy and going for the most efficient route kind of go hand in hand. Alright, we've been streaming for about 2 hours, as I have said before. We're probably going to do 2.5 hours, about 30 minutes less than usual. We've done 18 races so far in 2 hours, so we're around 9 races an hour, which is a bit slower than usual. Part of it is we're actually doing a bit more bosses than usual. Part of it's we're just being slower on finding races than we were before. Like, I think we got pretty fast on the first one. What quest am I on with you? I haven't started UwU's quest. When I do, it'll probably be done in, like, 30 minutes. I think she's... he, cat. Does this cat have a gender, guys? Let me know. Otherwise, I'll just refer to it as... Oh, what quest am I on with UwU? Not the creepy cat. I'm sorry. I'm on quest number 6 out of 7. 75 races. This is the last quest. The next quest is going to be finish first on one race. Previous quest was 56 races. So we've done 16 out of 75. So we only have 60 more races exactly left. I don't know why I thought you were talking about the creepy cat. But you know, I cozy creepy. But yeah. Hello, Ian. 8x zoom for mobile YouTube. I swear it used to be 6. Oh, you're able to zoom on mobile? I can't remember if I knew that was a feature. I don't think it ever was, but that I knew about, but yeah. I just did a gums worth of grinding, got 2,322 turkey legs for my usual backdoor gum grind route. Yeah, no, I am pleasantly surprised at how fast people can grind turkey legs. I was expecting it to be a bit slower than that, but no, that's pretty good. You might actually be able to do more than just one of each at that rate. So I mean, at that rate, you're spending around 2 hours for one of each, which, you know, it's slow, but it's faster than like any Halloween stuff. And like I'm going to probably get for myself. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at like the crafting recipes and what I need for that. I'm fairly sure there's like one expensive crafting recipe that requires like 2 mythicals or whatever. And I think it would be cool to do that one. I also think it would be cool to just get the resources for that one. I haven't really decided what my plans are for the event. But yeah, now you guys can definitely hear that invisible person that we're racing, even though we can't see them whatsoever. All right, we lost them. It's 2 recipes each for a mythical and extra. Okay, so it's only each requires 1 mythical. Okay. Then we'll definitely, similar to what we did last Christmas, probably only grab, not do any of the crafting recipes for the mythicals, just grab some base mythicals. It would take me less than 6 hours to get all 6 pets in a board. Yeah, it's actually, it is nice when they have these quick events because, like, new players are going to struggle. They don't have access to gum. But if like a new player wanted to, they could spend 10 hours and get one of these if they wanted to, which I don't think is worth it for them. But yeah. Also, this plus does absolutely nothing because it's usually there for buying keys and whatever. It actually probably causes a console error. No, it doesn't cause a console error. That's actually, no, it does. It absolutely does cause a console error. That's exactly what I was expecting, though. Is a red thing from clicking that plus. So, yeah, obviously it doesn't cause any problems because it's, just doesn't work. And doesn't show anything, so it doesn't matter too much, but no, that's kind of what I was expecting. Imagine it was the original test amounts. I think we can say this. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Imagine if it was, you could always just say, imagine if it was the same amounts as last year, which I think were the same amounts. Where someone spends an hour to grind and gets 5 of them. Everyone's running around with full teams of it. Yeah, that would be fun. I didn't actually test, so I can't remember if it's the same amount as last year, or if they actually had it like as like 500 or whatever. Or for whatever reason did 250 and 350 or whatever. Thinking it'd be like the keys. That would be insane. That would have been oopsies. Every ghost you vacuum, you get a free mythical. I think it was 10k and fit 25k. Okay. Yeah. So probably, or actually pretty much exactly like we had last year. But yeah, we have a race event up next. We will use the event bait for it. About 30 more minutes left in the stream, as I said before. But yeah, sometimes pricing on Ghost Simulator is a bit weird. Same thing happens with other stuff, but it is definitely noticeable in a lot of limited stuff where it's like really easy to get some stuff, like candy stuff especially, key stuff occasionally. I like how each of these lights has its own generator. Like, they can't just wire up all the lights to one generator. I know it's just because it's a model that's reused in the game. But, like, whoever's making this cave area... We are so laggy in this fight. I'm so sorry. Still get third place. That 2.3k was from a far below optimized grind. Yeah, I know that feeling. You're like, oh, I did a really bad thing, and you actually get good results from it. You're like, oh, this is going to be insane when you do it correctly. An optimized grind could be reaching almost 3k with enchanted boss gum, enchanted loot gum. Yeah. Yeah, no, easily. If you're getting 2.2k with glitchy, you're going to be going straight up to 2.8k with enchanted, like, just based on the rate-wise increase. Alright, we're going to wait for this boss, and then we're going to do a race. The same thing we've been doing for the last 2 hours. But yeah, look how many race loot bags we have. If I open these, I'll actually have opened more than I have on my main account, so... we're probably going to open these before our rebirth, maybe. I don't really see any reason to save them. It's not like we're going to need the gems from them. Even if we do go up and get, like, a rift gum or whatever on this account, it's not like we're going to be getting all those stuff. So, 29... So we're probably going to open these all before rebirth. Probably next stream. I have been kind of keeping on top of these ones. That's why these aren't actually as extreme. I haven't gotten anything actually good from them, like no gem ship, no mythicals yet, which is good because I'm not allowed to use the mythicals. But yeah, it's definitely showing me that it's actually a lot harder. Like when these boss chest mythicals first came out, players were like, hey, new players would get these way too easily. Why are they able to get these good pets so easily? It needs to be harder to get. It's definitely not that easy to get them. Like, I have gone through how many bosses at this point? Let me check. 184 bosses, and I haven't got any mythicals yet. And I'm fairly sure that only counts these bosses. It doesn't count the mega bosses or mini bosses that are in other worlds. So 184 just of these normal bosses, and nothing. Actually, other stats on this count. 84 million gems we've grinded for like unboxing and stuff. Kind of interesting. 176,000 items. 1.6 thousand pets. 47,000 ghosts. Actually, compared to my main account, this one's not like I've easily. Okay, I have over 1,000 times more ectoplasm, I think. No, I have 35 trillion ectoplasm, so not quite 1,000, but that's just because there's a bigger pack. But for like gems, it's also a lot higher just because of game passes and other stuff. Items, I think I have 10, 20, 30 million maybe? A lot. But no, this is still a lot of stuff. Pets actually isn't that crazy. I think 1,000 pets is pretty low. The bigger thing is the bosses. The amount of bosses I've done on this account is insane. An optimized grind would allow 70 trillion for daily. Yeah, I would hate to be optimized grinding for leaderboard. I hate ectoplasm grinding. I don't know. I'm not a fan. Obviously, the strategy would be to do backdoor, or no, remnant world, where you do like 20 or 30 seconds per boss or whatever. Would be like the absolute optimal, which no one's really calculating. Even then, you can technically go more optimized with pack converters or pack whatever they're called. Oh, we didn't get anything for that. Pack overloaders, and technically you can go up to infinite if you have enough pack overloaders. Just no one has that many pack overloaders. But yeah. Remember me, Sanders? I do remember you, Sander. Yeah, I know. These streams aren't generally at the best times for people I know. Not everyone's able to catch the streams, but yeah, hello. Actually, I've said this before. This is a really horrible stream time. Like, it's the only people it helps is like Europeans. Like, that's literally the best time zone for it. It's either asleep or at work for the American time zones, and like the population centers for the world is not European. It is either America or you. I mean, European isn't bad for English stuff, but you generally want to have an American time zone friendly streams and whatever, which is, you know, not when I stream. And the problem is, like, now that I've streamed consistently at this time, if I stream at a different time, the people that normally watch my streams can't attend those. Even if it's better for, like, people on general, it's lower numbers in the short term. Which, you know, I don't care too much about numbers particularly. I just kind of like streaming for the same people over and over. But, yeah. Yeah, we're making pretty good progress. We've done, what, 21 bosses, or 21 races now? Grim here, we'll go grab it. I think, nope, it's over there. I saw this thing. Yeah, for whatever reason, you can actually hover over stuff when you aren't able to see it, which is kind of nice. It's kind of weird in some respects, but You know, that there it told us that a Grim was over here rather than checking over on that long spot, even though I thought I heard it over there. But yeah, the idea is to grab the short bosses. Again, we're way on track to be able to complete bosses before races, so it isn't too big of a deal. But the thing is, we're using event bait on the races, so over, like, long term, we should be getting a mostly races from main hub at least. The thing is, because of how limited like main hub servers are in Ghost Simulator, there's actually I feel like I'm using up all of the upcoming races. Yesterday when I was grinding, like when I first joined the game, every other server had a race or whatever. It was about normal rates. Then after grinding for a little bit, I grinded like 2 hours or whatever. Servers, every time I join a server, it's always a boss next because I've used up all the 5 different Ghost Simulator servers that are on at a time. So I'm always doing the races, so you're never doing the bosses, so it's always the boss timer that's up. You always stream at 5/6 p.m. for me. It's great. Yeah, I know. For you and Deadbull and a few others, it's really great for the European time zone. You guys are done with work or school. You guys are mostly school, I think. For American time zone, this is like the time where everyone's at work. It's like, for me, it's 9:30 p.m. to, or a.m., 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., so like right smack in the middle of the day. And then for the other time zones, which is going to be on PST, so West Coast, for East Coast, it's 3 hours after that, so 12:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., which is literally smack dab in the middle of the workday for everyone. It is rough. And I mean, specifically that is because I don't have a job and everyone in my house has a job pretty much. So it's no one's home at that time, so I'm able to stream and be like, hey, no one bother me during this time. No one's home, so no one's really going to be bothering me. But yeah. Oh, for anyone wondering, I know I did it on accident there. Someone asked about this. But you can double click event bait and it looks like it uses 2 to like spawn 1, or if you use it like while a race is upcoming or whatever. It's actually just visual that will tick down. So even though it looks like we used 2 event baits only to get like 1 race, whatever there, even though since we accidentally clicked twice, it's actually only going to be using 1 of those event baits. So even though it visually says 52, we actually have 53 total. Ag. Stuck. Is there any indication? I haven't seen that. I haven't done this or looked enough at the race to know. On that one, there's a very occasional one you'd go all the way down there and it's blocked off because you have to go the side tunnel. Does anyone know if there's any indication which way it is on that specific route? Other than that, there's other really annoying routes when it has you do the tunnel entrance or whatever. But anyone know if there is an indication of which way to go, like early on, like at that junction or whatever? Hello. I'm always like, yeah, I mean, the time I stream, as I said before, is not great for everyone. So I kind of understand people joining late, not being able to join these streams, watching them later. I mean, that's just how time zones work. So it's fine. I mean, worst case scenario, if you want to, you can watch a stream again. But honestly, I know this myself. I don't like rewatching a stream. I'm fine with like watching a stream as it happens. Like even if I'm not talking in chat or whatever, it's at least I'm like, oh, this is live. Whereas once it's like done, it's like, okay, that's hours of time for where not much actually happens, whereas you can watch a video in like 10 minutes and get the same thing as like a 2-hour stream or whatever. But yeah. Now that's just my opinion. I don't generally rewatch streams if it wasn't live, just because like, you know, it's a whole lot of content, not much time for stuff, so No reason to spend on like long content that doesn't have too much going on. About 15 more minutes. Hopefully we're able to get 3 more races and pull this out into the reasonable amount of time that I was expecting to spend. The more I use this board, the more I really wonder why it's not like my favorite board, because it's a really sick shade of purple. I don't know. These dark purples, like bordering on black, are just really cool in my opinion. I mean, I like the lighter purples, but this shade of purple specifically, the color of this, like, just really clean looking. I mean, the simplistic design makes it better. I think the problem is it's a quest board. And, like, even if a quest board is rare, like the towers where you had to do towers for the Christmas, Riley's Cloud and stuff, even though those were, like, really rare, no one really cares about them because they were quest stuff. And I think that definitely hurts it a little bit in terms of, like, visibility and whatever. On my account, I still haven't even finished UwU. Yeah, it's definitely a grind to finish UwU. You aren't supposed to do it like I'm doing before your first rebirth. You're supposed to do it gradually over time as you just grab a race every once in a while in main hub. I think it definitely struggles from having only races in main hub where not everyone's always spending their time. Whereas like Gramps or whatever has bosses which are pretty much everywhere, so you can always randomly grab a boss. But yeah, it's not really one thing that devs are like, hey, you're supposed to complete this quest like it is with progression quests or stuff like Shelly. It's just kind of a this quest exists sort of quests. Which in some respects, you know, I understand that thing. I don't think for Ghost Simulator it works the best. But yeah, that's sort of the idea of it, so. I don't think I've ever done UwU as intended, and I don't think I ever will. I don't know. It doesn't feel right to have a quest like that in Ghost Simulator, but... Well, hello then. Oh, man. Yeah, because I am in public servers, I am definitely pretty easy to find if you guys are paying attention. I also do accept all friend requests, unless your friend request thing is full, and then it gives me a message. This person's friend slots are full. You can't accept their friend request at this time. I saw that up once, and I'm like, what? Okay. But yeah, no, this account is kind of just a burner account. Not too much of a reason for me not to accept random friend requests from stream. On the main account, I don't accept friend requests just so I have, you know, space for actual stuff, and because, like, I'd have a bit more demand on that account, but yeah. I'm only at 38 out of 75 for UwU, and I'm on my 3rd rebirth. Yep, it is definitely a slow process. As I said, not supposed to do it on your first rebirth like we are on this account. I mean, when I did it pretty quickly when it first came out. I didn't like do it specifically, but eventually I got around to it. Where not immediately when it came out did I do it, but I grinded specifically for it. But yeah, it's not really that important of a reward or anything, so most people aren't too too incentivized to do it. It isn't like other quests like like some lore quests like Luna, Dylan, Blaze, all those large quests like Ghost World quests where people actually get stuck on because you aren't supposed to do them as early as people try to do them. I know I've seen quite frequently people like, I'm stuck on, how do I do Dylan's quest? Like, how do I unbox these godlies? Where the real answer is like, you ignore it for now, you come back to it later. It at least doesn't have like a promising mythical at the end. It does have a pretty good board or whatever. Rare board, not a good board. No one really trades for it. But it does have something at the end of it that is pretty cool. But it isn't something like that hypes up the promise of it like it does with Dylan's quest or Blaze's quest or whatever, where players actually get stuck on it. Especially now that it is in the Area 51, or Wild West, sorry. It used to be in Forest, which was a really bad place for it. But yeah, being in Area, or Wild West. Oh, we grabbed a ghost on accident. Did we get any turkey legs from that? No, we got some turkey legs. Whoops. I was meaning to avoid grabbing this entirely, but yeah, it looks like we got from the one ghost we grabbed a few turkey legs. You know, we spent 2.5 hours almost without doing it, and then we've ruined it with one ghost. But yeah, it isn't too much of an issue. The main reason I have no event progression is just mainly from no events is for the no pets, where I couldn't just cheese into grabbing Halloween pets for this account, or yeah, so it's fine for us to grab a few turkey legs. I'm not going to make it a particular as I said, I've been trying to avoid turkey legs. It isn't an issue that we grab turkey legs. It's just we won't use it for gum. We won't use it for gaining pets or anything like that. Actually, it took me forever to realize there was a sign up there that tells you which way to go in that intersection. For the longest time, I just kind of tried to figure out which door had the green thing on it to figure out which one was open and whatever, because I felt like that was how you were supposed to do it. It took me forever to realize that there was actually a specific arrow that tells you which way to go on the top there. But yeah, it looks like we're taking a solid third place on this race. I think there's a person that was ahead of this person. There was. But yeah. There we go. That will be 22 out of 75. 10 more minutes, so hopefully we can get another 2 and get up to 26, maybe 27 even done today's stream. Probably only going to be 26. But yeah, it's still pretty good progress. 2.5 hours for 25 even would be about 1 every 6 minutes. About 10 an hour. Pretty good with the amount of bosses we've been grabbing too. Because we have 44 bosses left. And once we complete this, 53 races. So we can definitely tone down the amount of bosses we grab quite a bit. Probably no need to grab Grims anymore. I say as a Grim just spawns in the first server I hop into for Ghost World. Boss event. How many rebirths do I have on my main account? I'm at 24 rebirths on my main account. I plan on getting around 11 more. For 36 total. I'm not actually as grindy as I appear to be, honestly. I have 35 trillion ectoplasm, which even if I multiply that by 10, I spent 10 times longer grinding ectoplasm. I still would not be on global leaderboards or whatever. But yeah, I have 24 rebirths currently. Or at some point, either after the Christmas event ends or if the Christmas event is small enough, I do plan on finishing up and grabbing 11 more rebirths, which I'm probably going to do a few on stream. The idea was to do it all before Halloween, but I ended up being too lazy to do that, and only did like 4 out of the 17 I planned to do, which is a very good ratio for anyone wondering on efficiency. But yeah, definitely not the 200 that some other people have, but still a decent amount. For anyone wondering what the division of that is, 11 of those are Ecto Token Tycoons, which were really handy when I first was playing, where it was a really good way to get gems. 4 of those are the permanent ones. Master Hunter, Lucky Eyes, Ghostly Vision, plus what used to be the second arc rebirth perk, which got converted into plus 100 crate keys. And then 4 rebirths into divines for 3 for the first set, 1 of the second set, and then 6. So that's 19. That was my original 19 that I had for the longest time. And then I've so far put 5 into the Remnant Tycoon, which I plan on getting a total of 17 for. So, you got 14. Yeah, it's actually, if you put your mind to it, it's not that slow to get rebirths. 9 in 2 months. That's definitely a casual pace. I think I could... You can definitely do faster than that, but getting a casual pace for rebirths is definitely better than what I do with rebirthing 3 times in a week and then not rebirthing for another 4 months. Overall, you're going to get a lot more rebirths and a lot more progression, a lot healthier that way than the way I do it. And I mean, you only need like 20 in total anyway, or yeah, like 20 in total anyways. So being slow on them doesn't matter too much because once you got them, you have them. Hi, should do 55 trillion on daily. I value my sleep quite a bit. For anyone who doesn't know, I pretty much sleep like 8 to 10 hours every single day, which is ridiculous for someone my age. So yeah, daily leaderboard, I would only get like most like 2 to 3 hours of grinding, which is, you know, enough to get first most of the time. But yeah, definitely not the crazy 55 trillion 24-hour grind that Ninja Wars has been promoting. Which Tycoon's best in your opinion? I think Remnant Tycoon is currently the best. It gives you the most gems overall. But Backdoor isn't too much worse than it, and because of how Backdoor works with the grind, it has a really sweet grind right now with gum. You get a lot more gum from it. You can then also use that same route for gems, which is a lot more efficient than, because of the bigger pack that you have from the Void pack. The Void set increases your capacity quite a bit, which really allows you to do 2 full cycles really easily in Backdoor, which is really nice. Whereas in Remnant Zone, for gum usage, you have to sell and then grind back again, and you might even have to sell again because of the limited pack space. Because of that, Backdoor is actually pretty good. Remnant Zone is just strictly going to be faster, but Backdoor isn't too much worse. And then below that, it's like a huge space between Main Hub and Ghost World, which are very similar amounts in like the, 60%, 75% of the quality of Backdoor or whatever, which then you have Remnant Zone, which is about 10% better than Backdoor. He actually stayed up the whole 24 hours. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't. Yeah, as I said, I value my sleep schedule. I wouldn't do that. I've been toying around with at some point doing a 24-hour Ghost Sim stream. It would be something ridiculous, like completing all of Ghost Simulator in 24 hours, where it's more of a variety of grind, where I do a lot of quest lines on my main account, where I do a rebirth and then grind every single quest line I can up in 24 hours. Would be my idea for a 24-hour stream. Or I'd do something else, like maybe even a different game, like Sentinel or Minecraft or something. It wouldn't be a 24-hour grind of just for ectoplasm or just for gum or something. It'd be a variety stream. But yeah, I don't really plan on doing a 24-hour stream. I don't think I'm popular enough for that to be worth it. I'm not going to stay up 24 hours off stream to do it. And I'm not going to make a video like that either. Like, I don't think that's healthy for me. I don't think it'd get enough views for it to be worth it. Like, even if it performs, gets 10,000 views, that's not worth me spending a whole day, recording and, up. Because that would impact a few things, like family time and stuff like that would be not worth it. But yeah, we are coming to the end of the time I plan on streaming today. 2.5 hours of streaming. We're going to be getting one more race for a total of 26 races in 150 minutes. 26 races. Yeah, which is about 6 minutes per race, which is a little bit slower than I was getting before. I was getting around 5 minutes per race before, but not significantly slower, so it's still pretty decently spaced. But yeah. I just went to apply for a job, so you need a CV. Yeah, most jobs I apply to don't need a CV. They really only care about the resume and stuff, so I don't really understand it. Sometimes they do, and it's just, you can type up a short paragraph or whatever. I think is the one, just because it was a text entry box, not like an actual, document support. If I had to type, I could definitely type a document, but I really don't understand the point of a cover letter. I understand the point. It'd be like that interpersonal relationship, but like, why in the world someone would read that is what I don't understand. Honestly, that's probably what's wrong with job applications, is that interpersonal stuff is missing because of how inefficient it is. Which then makes it more inefficient because, personal stuff does actually impact a bit. Jobs in a general where I'm at it's not like it's broken or whatever, but, I don't like it. Which might be more... yes. But yeah, that will be it for now. We did 26 races, 150 minutes. Pretty good race. At this thing, we need to spend for 50 more, or yeah, 52 more, I guess. It's around 300 more, so about another 5 hours of grinding left. I'll probably do about half of that off stream, or I'll do most of that off stream, then do about another 30 minutes to hour on stream next time, and then we'll finish up the other stuff that I talked about with the void crates, completing the board crates from every single place, and then also doing some Lucky Cat grinding, and maybe a little bit of final boss. I'm not too sure on what I want to do before rebirthing. Oh, and then open up all these, so that will be next stream. We'll be doing all that stuff. Oh yeah, about your boss gum too. Yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, that's it for this stream. Next stream is going to look pretty similar to this start off, but we should hopefully be able to finish up next stream with this race stuff, so we don't need to spend our entire lives completing events in main hub for UwU, because we all enjoy that, don't we? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in my future stream or in a future video if I decide to finally upload another one of those balancing Ghost Simulator videos, which I think we all know exactly when that's coming out. Never, most likely. Actually, if I do a balancing, that will be main hub based. I'll be going through all this broken quests in main hub. maybe a bit of the stat stuff, seeing how that works out. Doing some math showing why it's so broken, and then hopefully giving some ideas that devs listen to fix it. But anyways, that's enough for the sign off. I will see you guys later. Bye.